Alrighty, I'm getting recording in progress. Have fun.
Hey Jenny, how you
Hi,
doing?
Marty. I'm doing
Good.
very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, thanks. It's been a couple weeks since we had the last chance to talk, and I'm sorry John couldn't visit with us because we always like to have both decision makers in the room when we talk about something so important. Um, but life goes on, and we had this date on the book, so let's just go ahead and take advantage of it. And then
Sure.
we're never going to run ahead of you. uh, Charitable giving is something that you have to do, and you do it from the heart, and you do it thoughtfully and prayerfully. And we certainly understand that you do it with your spouse. So we'll go from there. But as I said to you on the phone when we set the appointment, this is where we've come to. I mean, you probably don't expect. I mean, you probably do expect the fact that we're here, right? I mean, we've done
I'm
a lot
actually
together.
looking forward to it, Marty.
We've done a lot together. And
Yes.
so really the point is that we've got a longstanding relationship. We've been working together for at least 3 years. Your kids are both graduates of our institution, Zach and Alexander. And so we've seen them grow, and there's plenty of evidence of missional impact on their lives through the kids and now as adults in their life. And you've been a donor. You've been part of our philanthropy committee. John's been serving on campus and involved to the degree he's been able to, and that's been fantastic. And you all were always there to support the boys and all the things that they did. So that means a lot. You clearly saw everything that was going on in their life in relation to Providence. So that's pretty cool. And you also got to participate in the small group gatherings, right, earlier this fall, which
Absolutely.
were great, and I hope you enjoyed that. We appreciate your feedback on all that we were doing. Uh, you also, another time you may recall, we spent that time working through a very, very early draft of our case for support. We kind of went through some ideas that the head of school and I had been considering. And we didn't want to run out ahead of the people that have been so close to us without getting your feedback. And yours was very helpful. And we went through and did that with about 6 or 7 other folks. And that with our principals and our department heads in the school, we were able to build something we feel really pretty proud of, which I mailed to you last week for your read prior to this meeting. Um, you also participated in a structured interview with me, and you gave me that hour or two. I can't remember how long it was, but we went through those 30 plus questions, and I appreciate your forthrightness on that because not only is it helpful for us, I believe that the journey of that gave you an insight as to our heart while we saw yours. And additionally, it as a steward of philanthropy, student of philanthropy, it really helps me understand the heart of the donor so much more, and it actually gratifies me. It's like an affirmation for why I do what I do when I get to hear why people give and get so much joy out of it. So anyway, thank you. And you've read the final case for support, which I mailed you, I hope, prior to this meeting. Did you?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
good. And in it included our case, the table of gifts, those that the ranges of gifts that we really need to hit our bold objective. Um, and you've had access to our strategic plan and strategic financial plan. I don't know if you've read those, but you've had
I have.
access to them. Okay, good. And we've gone through ad nauseum since the very first time we met our master campus plan. I've got it on a phone core board in my office. Sits right there. Whenever we sit down, I can refer to it, and people are like, "Yep, I recognize that." Um, and and so here we are. We set this time, and I've done way more talking than I normally do because we usually kibitz a lot more on the front end. But I know you're busy. You've got about 10 or 15 minutes before you have to go pick up the boys. And so, as I said when I set the appointment, uh, Miss Marty and I have set up this time, and she has asked me to spend this time with you because we've had the closest relationship. And have you given some thought now to where you and John would like to participate in this, the Imagine With Us campaign, and what that might look like over a 2 to 3 year period?
No, well, Marty, first of all, thank you so much. I have a couple of questions before we go there. One is the more I thought about the campus master plan, and I did some research on that architect. He's certainly a very well established architect in the field of education, especially. Given the additional costs of materials for buildings, etc., just because of the changing economic climate, and the fact that I wasn't aware that we would need to factor in the salary of the project manager. My question to you is, how realistic is 540,000?
That's a good question. We've got the project budget. We've had it from the very beginning. All of our numbers have been vetted. We've sat down and our objective is to raise more than $540,000. And keep in mind that a big piece of that is also our annual fund. So part of what you may recall when I set this appointment up, it's talking about you and John sustaining, if not sustaining your annual fund support. And today we're really talking about adding a portion over and above that for your capital projects. So, the way we go about doing this is you can trust that we're going to steward every gift and it's going to go to the projects, and how we execute on that's going to be up to the boards, the finance committee and the committee of the trustees that the head of school and the board chair have set up to manage the project. So we feel very comfortable about where things are going, and we're not really concerned about overages because we factored in, I think it was 10% into our objective in anticipation of some flex in there. And if we raise that number and prices don't increase, then what we typically do is we put that towards well, we could do any number of things, but sometimes what we do is we put it toward the care, endowing the care and maintenance of that building, in addition to whatever operational endowment support we actually get from philanthropy. Not everyone has a passion for giving endowment dollars because it's a dollar. It's like an insurance project policy, rather. It sits there until you need it. If you don't need it, you don't spend it, right? In a building, you can see and touch and smell. That's more easily something that people can identify with. So, I don't know if I answered your question, but we feel very confident in our numbers.
Okay. Well, certainly John and I have had extensive conversations about it, and we've been in contact with our accountant to see what we can do over the next 3 years. Um, I would like to know first who else is sort of, marching up the hill.
Yeah, yeah. No one likes to, very few anyway, like to be the first one up the hill, do they? Well, you can understand this, that 100% of our board of trustees they were the first out of the gate. Actually, I can tell you that our head of school was the first out of the gate, and then the board was
That doesn't
second.
surprise me about Denise.
The board was second, and every member is participating to the best of their ability, according to the means and the condition of their heart, which is a way we like to do it. And then we also did our faculty staff, and we're almost at 100% of our faculty and staff, which is pretty amazing when you think about we're really not paying them all that they should be paid and how wonderful they are with the kids. And so you're actually the very first person that I wanted to come ask, because we need you and John, and we need you to lead.
So
We've talked.
what kind of amount are you considering as a leadership amount?
So in the table, I'm sorry, in the case for support, you saw a mock draft, a table of gifts. And so, given the number of prospects that we have and the short tenure in which we have to get this objective done, because we want to break ground And we think we're not gonna borrow any money to get it done, which
Mm.
means we have to have cash on the barrelhead in order to get the supplies. But we want to turn the shovel on December 15th or so. And we want to have as much cash in hand to be able to do that in order to make the first order of steel. And and what we would really like to, if you notice on the table of gifts that um, the top three gifts sums up 40% of our total. So we wanted you to be one of those top three gifts. And I know that's ambitious, but I hope that you and John will, will sit back and say, you know what, we're connected, we understand, we're already engaged, we're pouring ourselves into it. You see what the kids are being blessed by, or have been blessed by, and and you're ready to do it because right now we think, well, I feel very confident in the fact that we have to knock down about 60% of our goal from our first eight gifts, and most of that comes from the top three. We just don't have enough prospects right now. But the beauty of it is when we conquer this, it's going to expand our base of support because we'll have the ability to add 30 new families. And it'll actually, not just in the middle school, because we want to build that middle school building, but what it'll do is it'll allow us to reshift some space in elementary and high school, which will give us a broader footprint there, greater opportunities to serve, but add more students. So we could actually grow 25% in enrollment if we hit all of our enrollment numbers,
Mm.
which is pretty amazing. We have 90 kids now. If we could come back with another, what is that, 27 kids, think of the tuition monies and the addition, the ability by the time we get to phase two of this effort, when we want to go out to Pond Road and we want to develop that property, we're going to need to raise some money for that. And we're going to want to, so to answer your question, we've got fewer prospects now. This is a smaller project. We got to conquer it really quick so we can get on to our Pond Road work. And uh, and the good news is we feel like your relationship with the institution is strong enough that you wouldn't be offended by this ask.
Oh no, we're not offended by it at all. In fact, we feel very fortunate to be among the first to be asked. You know that our respect for Denise Marty is extraordinary. What she has achieved in a very short window with a school is really remarkable. So whatever Denise decides is the focus, we want to support that focus. So John and I are looking at 100,000 dollars for the building. That would include it would be wonderful if that went towards the campus master plan because we would love to see that really finalized as soon as possible. And then we're happy to continue our annual fund at its current level for the next 3 years. And I know you said we could make our donation over 3 years. We're actually happy to make that 100,000 over 2 years. So $50,000 this year and $50,000 next year.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So uh, that puts you at 36 or so, first 137.5, right? Is my math right?
It sounds right
Over
to me.
over 3 years, but we'll have the bulk of the capital dollars up front, which will be fantastic as far as Denise is concerned, because she'll need those resources to be able to order the supplies. And as I understand it, the master campus plan for phase two on Pond Road is 75,000. So that actually leaves 25,000 for the middle school project. Is that something you'd be okay with us diverting to that purpose?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Because none of
Um,
this can start without that master campus plan. And obviously, that would include the details of the building, right? The architectural plans.
every master campus plan should have the layout of all the properties and facilities, what she is going to need in the architectural renderings for the building, for the middle school building are already in place. So
Okay.
what she's going to have in addition to the master campus plan, in my definition, is that she'll have the master campus plan for all of our properties and all of our holdings and what it's going to be used for, right? As it's allocated to the academic, artistic, and athletic priorities of the institution. And then she'll have individual architectural or landscaping plans for each of the spaces around that. So um, I don't think we've gotten that far yet as far as Pond Road goes. She's
Sure.
got some renderings, but I don't know that she's actually sat down with an landscape architect to be able to do the Pond Road stuff. But I can follow up with you on that for sure. I'll make sure I spend some time with her after this. We'll celebrate. You know the bell I've got in my office so as soon as you hang up, everyone in the building is going to hear me ring the bell when they know that that means an angel's got its wings. No, it really what it means is that someone's jumped on board and to help us reach our vision. So let me ask you this: do you all have a matching gift privilege? Does John or do you, through your employers, have a matching gift
No,
privilege?
we don't. Mm-mm. No.
Okay. Do you want to do this with appreciated stock or other assets?
No, we've discussed it. We can do 50,000 cash this year and 50,000 next year.
Okay,
Yeah. And
good.
and Marty, I would just add that we feel that this is um in the big scheme of things, of the vision of this school, it's possibly viewed as small. I know, obviously, in our mind and your mind, it's large, and it is. I don't want to take away from that. But we feel that this is a way for us to give back to what's been given to our two boys. And the quality of the teachers that walk into your school are just remarkable. So this is all about the teachers who've served our children. We're so grateful.
Well, you are so kind and generous. Let me ask you in terms of, I know it's the largest gift you've ever given to our institution, but um, have you ever felt such joy in giving any other gifts in your life?
Well, the gift of grandchildren to my parents.
No, I'm
Some
talking
gifts
about
just don't,
charity.
yeah, right. Some gifts just don't have money, right? The
Right.
greatest gifts. Yeah, but no, in terms of, I'd have to think about that because I never really think about money per se. I mean, it wasn't about the amount that was on John and my mind. It was about what can we do to support the fabulous teachers who've provided so much to our two children. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Heather and I feel the same way. You recall Heather and Sophie,
Yes.
or Mitchell and Sophie both graduated. Hey, so let me ask you just some housekeeping questions. Are you giving your gift anonymously, and of course, we would never put gift amounts public,
No,
but can we celebrate?
we have no problem. We'd actually like it to be in gratitude to the teachers, for Zach and Alexander.
So in honor of the boys,
Yes, but
that's cool.
specifically in gratitude to the teachers.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And you remember in our case for support, we had some naming opportunities. Is that important to you? And if so,
That's
uh,
not important to us.
okay. And have you thought about how will you make your gift by check, by credit card? Will you
No,
send a
we'll
gift
make
from
it.
your donor advised fund?
No, we'll just go ahead and make it by check.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do to help you is I am going to do two things. One, I'm going to get up and do this
Right.
when you hang up. Second, is I'm going to take all that I heard you say with regard to your campaign pledge, your commitment over for the two funds over the next 3 years, capital
Uh-huh.
in 2 years, annual in three. And I am going to uh, write a summary of that pledge, and I'm going to send it to you.
Sure.
And you typically make your gifts on December 31st, so for the annual fund. So I'm going to build a schedule. It's going to have the fund name, annual fund, and then for the next 3 years, 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28, 12, 5, 12, 5, 12, 5. And then the second column is capital, right? And then
Hmm.
50 and 50.
Sure.
When do you want to make those two $50,000 payments?
Let me get back to you on that.
Okay, well, that's good. That's why I do this summary, because what we'll use that summary for is for our own accounting, and because our auditor will come and pay special attention to the way we're handling this.
Sure.
Now, we know it's not a legal document, it's a guideline, but what it does is it triggers me and my assistant to send you a reminder 30 days in advance, right?
Hmm.
So that way you don't have to worry about it. We'll track it, right? I know you
Sure.
probably do. You and John are spreadsheeters, right? So you probably
Right.
keep that in your budget, but nonetheless, we'll send a reminder because life gets hectic. And if there's any questions or concerns, you just pick up the phone and call me. Of course, this won't be the last conversation we have. We'll continue on.
Sure.
And you can trust that um, always, I'll continue on with the stewardship and sharing of information and about how, our teachers are continuing to be a blessing to kids like Zach and Alexander. And then we'll just keep going from here.
Sounds like a plan. And I'm so sorry, I do have to run. So I
Okay.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
This has been a very special day.
Awesome. You made my day.
That's great. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.
And Denise is going to stop the recording.